taking you in my 997 4S, so enjoy. I will say one of the cool things about these cars, especially like this 997 model, is the size of these cars. You know, after driving some of the bigger things like the BMWs and some of that, this car feels like a literal go-kart that has a manual. So you're able to just push this, feel the road, and get as tight as possible to those turns. So, and this is my second one. Might be my favorite 911. But when it comes to all the features that it has and like all the cool little accessories, it doesn't really have that much. I think it was just more built for the road. I can show you the console, and it's super simple. I never touch any of the buttons besides the volume and the AC. But it has, you know, email on there and call and all this other stuff that you don't really need at all. 3, 2, 1, push it! The other thing about this is the manual in these feels so good. The clutch is a little heavy compared to the new cars, you know, but that's kind of Porsche. If you've driven a couple Porsches before, it's, you know, you actually got to use your left foot, where some of the new cars just feel like air. So I still enjoy it, but I know some people may think differently about that. But all in all, I think this is one of the best cars to buy right now. If you got the funds and the need for speed, I would say go buy it. I mean, I've owned this car for almost 3 years now, and I think the only things I've had to do is, you know, obviously regular maintenance, fluid, stuff like that, but I think I had to change the reservoir tank for the coolant, and then what else did I have to do? Fix like a minor oil leak, but I mean, other than that, there's really no maintenance. I mean, like spark plugs, emission coils, that type of stuff, but I mean, that's kind of regular maintenance. I think overall in like 3 years, it's been, I mean, it's under $1,500. I mean, I guess when it comes to, you know, add-ons and, you know, what I've done to a car, it's obviously more than that, because I've added a GT2 spoiler, a GT3 front bumper. My pops gave me this new steering wheel, so that's the 991 steering wheel. I got a BFI shift knob. I have a Soul bypass muffler exhaust. I changed out a couple of the lights, like I got the depot lights as well on the tail lights. I have new fog lights. But yeah, try to keep it as simple as possible, and then also interchangeable. So, you know, it's not permanent. So I didn't weld any of the mufflers on, or I didn't do any of that in case, you know, the new owner, if I do decide to sell this, wants to, you know, switch anything. I didn't want to make it permanent or a pain in the ass to have to work with. Yeah, I mean, I daily this car, and I think it's the best thing ever. Obviously it is a little lower, so you do have to worry about speed bumps and, you know, hitting stuff, but that's, you know, with every sports car. But I mean, other than that, able to fit, you know, one other person, a couple small kids in the back if you wanted to, and then go do your daily task. I don't drive much, so it's pretty nice. I've been driving Porsche for 5 years now, and I would never go back. The only thing I would do is just buy more. I will say the one thing about Florida, though, it does kind of suck, is that it's all just straight. I mean, I do live downtown, right? But I mean, you get hit with stoplights, you get hit with, you know, traffic. So I do kind of wish I lived somewhere where there was still some curvy roads, but my choice, right? But I mean, Florida does have that. It's just where I am. Also, when you turn on the PASM or the sports exhaust or the sports suspension, sorry about that. This car, you feel everything. Every little bump, and it's great. Besides when you got somebody else in the car, like the girlfriend, and she's like, man, I don't want to feel that, but but I will put it in sports mode, then y'all can hear the difference, hopefully. I need to get a mic just to put back there so y'all can hear, you know, the sound difference. But with that being said, the ECU's map different, so when you hit up the gas without sports mode, it's, let's just say it takes, you know, 80% power. This, it takes, you know, 20% to get to that same RPM. So it's a noticeable difference, which it should be. Going to Mexico. About to get on the highway, so hopefully we can hit some turns, kind of get a little fast going, get a little speed. All right. Sport mode, inside of the turn, gas, we're out. I'm looking to grab a 997 turbo right now, just because I think, you know, 5-10 years, people are gonna know that that's the last manual turbo that's coming out. If I can get my hands on a .2, I think that's the one to buy. But I think it's so quick, comes in a 6-speed, and it's still just as reliable. And these cars are the easiest cars to fix. I've taken pretty much everything apart on this. You know, the steering wheel, the taillights. Taillights are 2 bolts. It is literally the easiest car to fix. I think that's also a reason why, you know, I'm not willing to get rid of it, is just because you can fix any part of this car. I mean, when it comes to more mechanical issues, obviously, you know, I don't have a jack or anything like that to fix all that, but I mean, even still, it's not terribly expensive now that you can source parts, and it is relatively older. We may stop by Porsche just to go see what they have really quick. Last time I was there, they had a 356. It was like turquoise. It was beautiful. But I will say, you know, something that I do notice that is a little different is with the sole exhaust, right? The whole muffler is completely gone. It's just turned into an elbow pack. So obviously the inside cabin is going to be a little bit louder than expected. That's why you can hear a little more rattling. I don't daily drive this car, you know, every day. So I usually only daily it on the weekends. So I don't mind it. I'm going to try to roll down the windows a little bit so you guys can hear it under the tunnel on what the sole exhaust sounds like. And you know, for me right now, obviously being a little bit younger, I was trying to find, you know, just like every 24-year-old is like the, you know, the loudest, cheapest exhaust you can buy. But listen to this. It's the best. Blinded by the light. And that's Porsche for you. Like, even right there, just in that split second, I was literally already at 70. This car's so quick, and the crazy thing is that it's actually just as fast when you're at 60. That 60 to 100 is just as quick as 0 to 60. Like, when I first got it, you can literally feel, I went from a normal base model Carrera to, you know, obviously the 4S right now, and you can literally feel all tires actually pull from 60 to 80 to 90. And it was the craziest thing. Like, you would be like this on the highway. It was nuts. It's just such a smooth ride. It's all cop. I had to brake real quick. Fun fact, if you brake before then and then you let off the gas, you don't see the taillights. But no, so I'll turn off the suspension, and you know, now I'm not feeling any of those bumps. You know, before you could probably listen from when I turned it on, you'd feel like that boom. But now it's, you know, as smooth as a ride as possible, and then you still have that sports ECU still turned on, so it still goes just as fast, just not with that harsh of a suspension. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those cars where you can literally take anywhere. I mean, you can take it grocery shopping, you can take it all the ways to the gym, you can take it, you know, just on long drives, short drives, weekend warrior. I mean, this is a all-you-can-eat car, right? Like, it's got everything that you need. It's reliable. It's got a manual. It's fast. It feels small enough where you can maneuver the road to your liking. I mean, just enough technology where you can get by. I mean, it's not going to have like the maps, but you can at least play music, and most people usually turn off the music when you're in the car, so I got no issues. And they actually do have an updated center console for these cars now, where, you know, you will have that Apple Maps, you will have the Connect Bluetooth, where you're going to automatically have that. And it does look simpler, but I kind of just wanted to keep it the way it was for now. Alright, we got another off-ramp coming. That was real bad. This gears went into second. Alright, we got another one now, so, you know, we'll retry. There we go. That was a smooth downshift. But yeah, as you can see, while you're just sitting down, you know, it's super quiet. There's no drone. Obviously, it's a little different story when you get to 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs, but sole muffler exhaust.